What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday night Q&A Hangout. It's been a couple weeks, I feel like, since we've actually gone live on a Tuesday evening. It's mainly just because free agency frenzy, all kinds of signings, blah, 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 blah. But they have slowed down a little bit. The last move I believe the Chiefs made was signing Juju Smith-Schuster on Saturday. We had a former Chief move on in McCole Hardman. He is signing a one-year deal with the Packers. Little surprising. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me where he goes. Like, I wish him the best. I don't know that I expected him to end up a Packer, but I do think that kind of solidifies Nico Remigio's role in 2025 as the team's punt and kick returner, maybe a depth piece to use on the offense. But, I mean, that was kind of what I saw coming anyway. I wasn't really thinking a McCole Hardman return was going to be happening, but now you know for sure. You know for sure that McCole is moving on. The other day, also, Juan Thornhill signed a one-year deal with the Steelers. Obviously, he hasn't been on the Chiefs in a couple of years. And then Derek Nottie signed with the New York Jets. So a lot of little movements going on. The Chiefs kind of did their big moves early. Their 2-3 big moves happened by the first day of the tampering period of free agency frenzy. So they franchise tagged Trey Smith. Then they re-signed Hollywood Brown with a smaller one-year deal, but then they signed Nick Bolton to a 3-year, $45 million deal with $30 guaranteed. Those moves happened before Monday of the tampering period, and then they signed Jalen Moore for their left tackle spot, backup tackle for the 49ers. They signed him to a 2-year deal, 2-year, $30 million, I believe. Outside of that, it's just been little small signings. Elijah Moore on a 1-year deal. They got Kareem Hunt back on a 1-year deal. Juju Smith-Schuster back on a 1-year deal. Well, a lot of little signings, and that's why I just kind of titled this a look at the Chiefs roster and how it sits so far. I put Nico Remigio on there just because it seems like his future as the team's returner, in theory, is most likely happening for 2025. It's going to carry on from the 2024 NFL season. And then I put Travis Kelce on there just because this could be the last ride for Travis Kelce. And his cap hit's pretty high. The Chiefs, I think, might be the only team in the NFL that have more money invested into the tight end room than the wide receiver room. It's very close. It's mainly because of Kelce's cap hit. George Kittle's cap hit this year is like $22 million, but they're paying Brandon Ayuk a lot of money. So that kind of offsets the 49ers paying more for their tight end room. But the Chiefs, like, you've got a 1-year deal. You got a 1-year deal for what? Hollywood. And some of those are potentially not likely to be earned incentives, which means if he hits them, they're actually going to hit the 2026 salary cap for the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's your biggest receiver on the roster as far as cap hit goes, because Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are on their rookie deals. And then Nico is an undrafted guy, pretty cheap deal as well. So we'll probably see that change in the future for the Chiefs, obviously, when Kelce moves on. And I don't think they restructure Kelce, because why? If he's on the last year of his deal, if you want void years, I guess you could do it. But they freed up almost $50 million in cap space by restructuring Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones, and then you could free up even more cap space if you get a long-term deal done with Trey Smith, get him off that tag. That's like $23.4 million. That'll lower his hit for sure. So you probably don't need, in theory, to do anything with Kelce's cap hit. I know it's a big one. It's almost $20 million. So that just kind of is what it is on the last year of his deal. Maybe they rework something, but I mean, again, you would probably have to add void years if you did that. So I don't think there's any need to do that at this point in time. And I feel pretty decent about the Chiefs' moves. I guess I didn't mention defensive tackle Tillery of the Vikings, former Charger, former Raider. Like, yeah, they added him on a 1-year deal too. And you're just filling up the roster and making sure there's no major needs before the draft right now. I mean, I would be curious to know in the comments down below or in the chat right now, just everybody in here, where you feel like the weak links are along the roster and where you want to see them maybe add some moves even prior to the draft. I understand there's going to be moves made in the draft, which is a whole conversation in and of itself, but I'd be curious to know what you think of the roster so far. And I mean, you've got 200 people voted on this poll. What grade would you give the Chiefs for free agency so far? 60% said B. We helped a little so far. A is at next at 24%, saying we've addressed our needs well. 3D printing with Nick, thank you, and Marcus with the membership, and then Marcus with the gifted. Thank you so much. Juliana said cornerbacks. I mean, I feel like they did a pretty good job addressing the cornerback room because you still have Trent McDuffie, you've got Jalen Watson, then you brought in Christian Fulton on a 2-year deal as well. So those are going to be your 3 primary, and then you've got either Joshua Williams or whoever in the depth there, Nazi, but maybe they also add a cornerback in the draft. Could they also add another vet? I mean, I guess. But that Fulton move was a pretty big one. And if you get another guy in the draft as well, like if you're saying, hey, the cornerback room just because of the longevity concern, I mean, you've got a couple under contract through next season. That's going to be Christian Fulton and then Trent McDuffie in theory, even if they pick up his 5th-year option. Will an extension get done with Trent McDuffie this year? We'll see. We had the cornerback market reset. Derek Stingley Jr., 3 years, $90 million. Is what was advertised. $30 million APY resets the cornerback market by 5 years. Some are kind of saying, nah, that actually adds 3 years on after his 5th-year option, so it actually makes his average per year lower than that. Either way, Trent McDuffie is going to be getting a lot of money from somebody. If it's not the Chiefs, who is it? Great question. You have Trent McDuffie on a $4 million cap hit this year. His 5th-year option next year is like $13.6 million or something. So you can keep him around for 2 years while you figure stuff out. The Chiefs don't have to extend him now or even later this offseason, which that's typically when they do it. They extended Harrison Butker at the beginning of August last year, made him the highest paid kicker in the NFL. Then they extended Creed Humphrey a few weeks later, end of August, making him the highest paid center in the NFL. It was either that order or flip-flop it. Either way, they both got done in August. Both reset the market. So could you see that happen with Trent McDuffie as well in August or somewhere after the draft, the 3rd wave of free agency, and then you're just gearing up for the season? Yeah, you very well could see it happen. I'd be curious to know what you guys think. What's up, Barry? Thanks so much for the 20 bomb, man. Hey, Cole. Was sad to see both Justin Reed and Justin Watson go. Got to know them pretty well. They were good guys. Yeah, man. I mean, Justin Reed spoke on the Kay Adams show today, and he said he was hoping that he could come back. He was even texting Spags and Dave Merritt, the DB coach, defensive backs coach for the Chiefs, even holding out hope that there could be a return. But at the end of the day, you know, he basically said the Chiefs went a different direction based on their needs and the salary cap. And yeah, I mean, they have Jaden Hicks, and we'll see what else they do with the safety room, if anything. But you have Jaden Hicks. You got Chamari Connor. I mean, you got Brian Cook. I mean, those 3 could hold it down. I'm probably missing somebody right now off the top of my head. I feel like I should be saying somebody else. But those are going to be the 3 primary for sure. You could still pick somebody up, I guess, but I don't feel like they have to before the draft. I mean, I was like, oh, if you want to go get anybody, I mean, maybe you go get like Juan Thornhill or something on a 1-year flyer, but he signed with the Steelers, so he's out. But yeah, it's always tough to see these guys go. Like, I feel like Justin Reed was a great contributor on defense, played a valuable role. He had his struggles at times in coverage, but great instinct, hit like a semi-truck, like a refrigerator. And yeah, he was great. Yeah, he was great. And then Justin Watson, he played his role, wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5. Yeah, he's with the Texans now. And you do wish him the best. And then, obviously, McCole Hardman is now with the Jets. They brought Juju back, and maybe we see Juju's role increase a little bit next year. Could he offset Travis Kelce a little bit and help out? Maybe. But the way they use him, like in 2022, he had almost 1,000 yards. So he's not who he was then, even though it was only a few years removed, but he is capable of producing, especially like if his role is expanded upon a little bit this year. Remember, he signed with the Patriots on a 3-year, $30-ish million deal, got let go a year into that deal, and then came back to KC at the end of August, I think, because Hollywood Brown dislocated his clavicle, his sternoclavicular dislocation. So that happened at the beginning of August, first play of the first preseason game. Then they brought in Juju Smith-Schuster, I think right near the end of August. So he was kind of playing catch up a little bit as well in the playbook, even though he was on the team the year before that. He was with the Patriots 1 year, but then before that was with the Chiefs. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see what they do with the wide receiver room. Maybe you add one in the draft as well. And you know what, some people, I don't know, I've seen a few comments that just kind of say, hey, it looks like the Chiefs are just running it back with the wide receiver room. Well, I mean, not exactly. McColl's gone. Justin Watson's gone. Yeah, you brought back Juju. You brought back Hollywood. But in theory, the tandem, the trio of Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, and Xavier Worthy, like that's a pretty good trio. We just never really got to see it. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold, so I have a little bit of a cough. I'll try to mute if I got a cough. It's weird. When you have a cold, like at least this cold for me, the cough only comes back at night. It's like I cough in the morning, I'm fine in the afternoon, then it comes back at night. But yeah, we never really got to see all three of those guys in action at once, right? Rice was out for the season. By the time Hollywood came back, the season was almost over. Worthy was starting to catch on, so it was a nice little mix in there with Worthy and Hollywood. But now, as long as Rice isn't suspended for very long, I think I assumed too much in my Juju Smith-Schuster signing video that I did on Saturday. I don't want to assume that Rice is going to start suspended. It's most likely going to be that, but somebody said in the comments, like, how do you know it's going to be at the beginning? It could be in the middle of the season. True. At some point in the season, most likely a suspension for Rashee Rice is coming. After that gets done and resolved, you'll have Rice, Worthy, Hollywood. You've got Juju as a solid wide receiver 4-ish. Maybe Nico Remigio takes a step up. You use Juju a lot in the blocking game. You've got Kelsey. Jared Wiley is going to come back from injury. Don't think it's going to be at the beginning of the season. But then you have Noah Gray. They extended. He should step up as well. But that's a long answer, Barry, to say, yeah, Justin Reed, Justin Watson will be missed. It's sadly the nature of the beast, the nature of the business of the NFL. You got to move on and adapt. But it's from what I know, no hard feelings or anything like that for any of those guys. I think they both would have preferred to return, but I wish them the best in their next chapter, man, for sure. Erwin, thanks so much for the 5 gifted. Let's go. And then 3D printing with the 5. Thank you, man. What do you think the Raiders think about the Chiefs picking up Gardner Minshew? Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty funny, though. The Chiefs signed Gardner Minshew to be QB2. I think that happened last week. And we still don't know his contract details yet, but if the Chiefs are paying Gardner Minshew anything less than $3.1 million for this year, the Raiders are on the hook for some of his salary. So I'm really hoping, I'm selfishly hoping the Chiefs aren't paying Gardner Minshew more than $3.1 million, so the Raiders can literally be funding QB2 in some capacity to be on the roster for their rival in the Kansas City Chiefs. Somebody said, what about Leo Chanel? What about him? He's on the last year of his deal. He'll be in the linebacker room for sure, be playing a role. And then you've got Nick Bolton, he's returning. You have Drew Tranquill. Are the Chiefs cheating allegations true? I mean, if you ask any little cry-ass, they think the refs are in their pocket. But if you're talking about like the tampering thing that ML Football posted regarding Ronnie Stanley, the left tackle for the Ravens, no. ML Football, I already said it last week, he has the IQ of tree bark in my backyard. Do not believe anything that account puts out. It's completely garbage. Even if it's for $100 for Minshew, yeah, even if the Raiders pay $3.09 or $0.99 million or $0.999 million, and the Chiefs, and then they're only on the hook, so the Chiefs pay that, and then the Raiders are only on the hook for like $100. They gotta pay him a little bit. It would just be so funny. Wish they had kept Wharton. Yeah, man, they were not going to keep him for 3-year, $54 million. I'm really happy for Turk Wharton, but that was a big contract. I'm super happy for him. Chiefs couldn't have competed with that. Instead, they signed Tillery for 1 year, probably like $2 million. Any news on Mike Pennell? Not right now. Paul, I mean, he signed last year, I think, like in March, but he's a guy that's in his 30s. You could see somebody like Mike Pennell sign in June, July, just sometime before training camp. You know, that's what Jerick McKinnon did a couple years. He signed closer to June, July after the draft and all that, kind of as you're gearing up for training camp and you're in kind of the latter part of OTAs, I guess. I think he could come back and it would make sense. I think the Chiefs, you've got, I mean, I said Chris Jones was really the only guy on the roster, but there's a couple others. Fabian Lovett is technically rostered. He's a defensive tackle. And then Siaki Ika, I probably butchered that name, but he's technically on the roster as well. I just kind of talk in the thought of like my perceived to be starters. And so it just was Chris Jones was the only guaranteed roster lock in the defensive tackle room for 2025. You bring in Jerry Tillery, and he's probably making the roster. I don't know if he'll technically be a starter, but he's going to see plenty of snaps. And then you'll probably grab a guy in the draft too. What's up with Kelsey Jam? I don't know, Jonathan. You guys might know more about Kelsey Jam than I do. Thank you for answering, my man. Been a fan since I saw him throw around Mike Williams. Heck yeah, let's go, Paul. Yeah, I hope they could bring Mike Pennell back. It would make sense, like especially, what's up, Scotty? Especially if you draft a defensive tackle and then maybe they're like, hey, I think we need one more. Get Mike Pennell. I would like that a lot. Cole, do I know who runs ML football? No, I have no idea. No idea at all. Somebody with a low IQ. But no, I don't. How are you guys feeling about free agency so far? I think I asked earlier what position you think we needed to add. Somebody said cornerback. I guess my question to that would be why? Why do you think the Chiefs need to add more in the cornerback room? Unless you're talking future years. I mean, I think you'll probably draft a DB, a cornerback in some capacity, but unless you're saying, hey, we need to make a move for the cornerback room because Najee Johnson, Joshua Williams, and I mean, technically Trent McDuffie, but then Jalen Watson are all on the last year of their deal, maybe. O-line. Yeah. Somebody, a couple draft analysts have the Chiefs taking tackles still in round 1, even after signing Jalen Moore. We'll see. I mean, I wouldn't even mind it. I saw Kelvin Banks Jr. selected for the Chiefs at 31 with maybe Mel Kiper's draft. And I know he's probably going to be a guard in the NFL, but he could be a tackle. Worst case, he's a guard and he would be a damn good one. And you lost Joe Thuney. So that's not going to be the sexiest pick at 31 by any means, but the Chiefs do have 4 top 100 picks. So, and they have 8 draft picks total, so maybe you could package some later ones and move up in the second round for somebody else if you wanted to. They have the future 2026 4th round pick that they got for the Joe Thuney trade that they could, in theory, work in a trade up as well. But yeah, I mean, if they went and got a tackle in the draft that ended up being your guard and it was a solid guard, I mean, I think most people's argument to that is, or not liking that is, well, why would you get a guard round 1? That's pretty insane. I kind of agree with what you're saying, but if they could also potentially be swing tackle until Jawan Taylor's done after next year, when you could technically get out of his contract. I don't know if they will for sure move on from him or not, but you certainly can. Yeah, I think offensive tackle you could still add. I heard a little birdie told me the Chiefs were sniffing around some of the O linemen even after the Jalen Moore addition. Mekhi Becton was a name that was brought up. Obviously, he signed elsewhere, and it was a pretty decent-sized contract, so there's no way the Chiefs would have been in on that. But I think the Chiefs are putting the feelers out and just kind of seeing who's available, what the price is going to be, and all that stuff. Because, yeah, maybe they don't believe they're done in the O-line. But, I mean, Jawan Taylor's probably right tackle. Trey Smith, most likely right guard. He played 2 years in college at left guard, so I said in a tweet a while back, like, hey, maybe I can't rule out completely them moving him to left guard. I think he stays at right guard. Then you have Creed at center. You've got Wanye as like a swing tackle. He could be your right tackle even after Jawan Taylor. Kingsley Suamataia, maybe he's your left guard, but he hasn't played much guard, so that's kind of projection. Andy Heck's high on him as a guard, but that's like a big what if. To go from Joe Thuney to Kingsley Suamataia at left guard, one of the best left guards in football, to question mark? Great question. Then you have Jalen Moore at the left tackle spot. You've also got some other guys on the roster. Hunter Norzad, CJ Hansen. Mike Caliendo's back. He's tendered at least. He's fine for a serviceable depth piece, but he can't. I don't think he's starter material. I don't know if the Chiefs think that either. But we've seen him come in, like, yeah, he played multiple games. But when he's in there in a pinch due to injury in the middle of a game, I think he's fine. We need a bigger receiver. Can I ask why you think that, Zinks? Why do you think, or I'm just curious, I don't necessarily disagree, but when you say we need a bigger receiver, can you give me your reasons why? Or just what are your thoughts behind that? Cole, the Chiefs should draft the coldest to vote. Dude, I don't know how to say that name. Crawford? No idea who that is. I can't even lie to you. It's probably somebody I should know, and I just haven't gotten to yet. I was doing pretty good in my draft prep, and then free agency frenzy hit, and it's all gone out the window. It's all gone out the window. Yeah, George Karlaftis is under contract still, and you could pick up his fifth-year option next year, just like Trent McDuffie next year. Juliana said, if we had to get one of those guys, would you rather have Josh Simmons or Josh Connolly Jr.? I kind of have like a mini draft crush on Josh Simmons. I would say Josh Simmons if the Chiefs front office is confident enough in his medicals that they think it's that torn patella tendon is not going to be an issue moving forward, which obviously is a little bit of a gamble because of how big he is. But if I had to pick, I'd probably go Josh Simmons. Josh Connolly Jr. is fine. I know a lot of mock drafts are having the Chiefs taking him at 31. A lot of people don't love that either because they're saying, hey, he's more of a project tackle as well. Kind of like Kingsley, even though Connolly played triple the snaps, I think, Kingsley played in college at left tackle. So he's got more experience than that. But here's the thing about if you take a tackle round one that you're high enough on that you think you could develop, you've got Jalen Moore on a 2-year deal. So you have some wiggle room, and they could take some time to develop in the system. We've seen some tackles move over to the right side that are potentially going to be your left tackle of the future. I think Eric Fisher did that, if I remember right. Selected first overall in 2013. He didn't have a great rookie year, maybe not even a great second year. And he kind of took a little while to come on, but he played right tackle his rookie year, then moved over to left tackle after that. So with Jalen Moore under contract for a couple of years, you have some flexibility there. So if they took a tackle at 31, if Josh Simmons fell, I love it. If you're going to take Connolly Jr. or I don't know who else you could be taking there, if it's Ursery, I mean, if Kelvin Banks, I guess, fell, it's a potential option. It's not the sexiest pick, but I could reason out in my head why they would do that. I could reason it out. Which dilemma do you see us get? Oh, D lineman. Why did I read that as dilemma? Which dilemma? I mean, there's a couple guys that I like. We've talked about them in some videos before. I could pull up my draft notes here. But if the right guy fell, especially in round one, like there's a couple guys I would really like. But yeah, of course I would really like Will Campbell. Just kidding. He's an offensive lineman. He's going, what, top 10, top 5? Yeah, there's a couple guys. I got to find them. Where's my... Let me see if I could find... I did a video not that long ago where we probably talked about several defensive tackles that I liked. You know what? I know where to go. I don't necessarily look at all their stuff, but NFL Draft Buzz just has like a nice little, just a nice little layout. I can go D-line and then go defensive tackle. There's there's a couple guys that would be maybe a bit of a dream if the Chiefs could take them round one. Like Walter Nolan would be awesome. I've seen Kenneth Grant go a lot in the 20s. Walter Nolan too, maybe even in the late teens, early 20s. But man, Walter Nolan paired with Chris Jones would be a dream come true. That would be a lot of fun if he was for some reason available. That's a defender ready to make an immediate impact as a disruptive 3-tech. So that would be fun to put some youth in that room and a guy that could kind of really take advantage of Chris Jones getting double teams. That would be fun. Holland Pierce, if out of Rutgers in the late rounds, 6'8", 345. Holy. Cole, what are your thoughts on the safety room now that Reed is gone? Would you like to see some sort of vet in there personally? Asked Falcon. Lots of young talent, though. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. I think they're pretty high on Jaden Hicks. He was arguably the best safety in last year's draft. You got him on your team. He showed a lot of great flashes. You might have some growing pains back there, but they're opting to go different directions with the salary cap. They let Justin Reed walk. And yeah, I could see them maybe adding a vet, but I think Brian Cook, Jaden Hicks, and Shamari Connor are probably your main three. I think Deion Bush is on the roster as well still. But I wouldn't even have hated like Juan Thornhill returning. You know, you get mixed comments online. Some people say, do not ever bring him back, please. But in a depth piece role, I think Juan Thornhill's still fine. Maybe not as like your primary starter that's playing the majority of snaps. Marcus with the 13 months. Cole, you're an absolute dog. Thanks, man. We appreciate what you and your team do for the kingdom. Hope you and your fam are doing well, buddy. Any idea on member stream? 13 months. Here's the 2 years. Let's freaking go. Let's go, dude. Thank you, Marcus. I don't have any dates yet, but it's going to be I'm just looking at the calendar. It'll most likely be sometime next week. I wanted free agency frenzy to kind of calm down. So next week, at some point in time, maybe on Thursday evening or something, we will definitely be doing the members only live stream and Zoom call sometime then / over the weekend somewhere. I'll give you some notice. I'll give you more notice than last month because I didn't do a good job of it. But thank you for the 13 months. Brenda with the 30 months. Do you have any news on Omenihu yet? No, not really. I think Nate Taylor was talking about him a little bit in his podcast today, but I don't really know what was being said. I think he could be waiting. He could be waiting on a couple teams that might need it. Like maybe Minnesota could use a guy like Omenihu, but they're waiting on the Aaron Rodgers situation to play out first. You don't really know. I would like to see Omenihu return. Will he? We'll see. I know he's probably trying to gauge his market, see what he can get. There's definitely some guys that have signed with teams right now that I thought Omenihu would get a deal before they did. So I don't know if there's something there, something cooking, or if Omenihu is really trying to push for more money. He's not getting what he wants, and he's kind of playing hardball. It's hard to know what's going on behind the scenes. I mean, he probably wants a 2-3 year contract, but I can understand why some teams, just from their side of it, would be a little hesitant. He hasn't played a full season in a couple of years. One, though, was because of suspension, not because of injury. He didn't quite look all the way back when he came back from his torn ACL at the end of this past season. But, I mean, dude, if the Chiefs can get him back, I would be for it. I think you would see the best of Omenihu yet. So, to be determined, but I would love it. Jonah said HPC live stream equals fun. Let's go, Jonah. Thank you so much. Younger, cheaper, faster. How it's been every year under VIDS. Yeah, and that's a lot of moves that they've made that I've appreciated or at least noticed for the most part. Now, not everybody is young, but Jalen Moore is 26, 27 years old. Elijah Mitchell, about that 26, 27 mark. That's the same age as Christian Fulton, the cornerback they brought in. A lot of those guys are a couple years younger than maybe the previous player they had in that position. Now, they brought back a couple guys on 1 years, like Kareem Hunt. He's 30, but I do like that signing a lot of Kareem Hunt, especially with him getting a full offseason under his belt, OTAs, training camp, preseason, and he won't be playing catch-up all season from just a body endurance perspective because he was basically signed off of his couch week 2. Joe C. with the 5-bomb. I don't think we can let McDuffie go. He's a foundational player on defense. He's a shutdown corner that can open, field tackle, and blitz. I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying at all, Joe. I don't even know that we have to worry about that right now, just even if the Chiefs don't get a long-term deal done in the fall, because he's on the last year of his rookie deal. I'm not saying the Chiefs do this, and I don't necessarily like when teams do this, but this is in theory how it could play out. Last year of his rookie deal, you pick up his fifth-year option. So the last year of his rookie deal is $4 million. You pick up his fifth-year option, it's like $13.6 million, and then you could franchise tag him after that. That would be kind of expensive, but the Chiefs have control right now. Would they want to get ahead of it and try to get him locked up to a long-term deal, keep him a Chief for years to come? I think I would like that, but they don't have to make moves now. I was kind of hoping they would before the market got reset. It didn't happen, and they normally wait anyway. I was just kind of like crossing my fingers, like, can Trent McDuffie get extended? Because they could have started, maybe they did, negotiating with him early in January. Slamming with the 2. What's up, man? What 5 positions would you pick for rounds 1 through 4? I was muting a cough. Positions, rounds 1 through 4. I mean, I would love a double dip in the trenches in some capacity, whether that's O-line, D-line, defensive interior, edge, especially if Charles Omenihu isn't back. What else? It really just depends on the player. If they're high enough on that player, like, I don't know in last year's draft, if I would have predicted a safety or a tight end in round 4. But Jared Wiley was at a spot that they liked him, and then Jaden Hicks fell a little bit further than they thought, and they got one of the best safeties in that draft class. So some of that's like what player falls for them, but I mean, linebacker is probably a need. Drew Tranquil is going to be 31 with an out on his contract after next year. Nick Bolton's under contract, but then Leo Chanel's on the last year of his rookie deal. If they don't bring somebody back, like, say, Willie Gay or something, I know he has, in theory, been interested in returning, and I wouldn't even mind that on a cheap deal. Yeah, that's definitely a need in the draft. Corner, because of everybody that's not under contract next year, corner would probably be a need. And in case of depth, like, you can never have too much depth. But definitely O-line, D-line, linebacker. I mean, running back at some point, I just feel like, why do I feel like the Chiefs are going to draft a running back in like the 6th or 7th round? Brett Veach already talked about pockets of position groups that have a lot of talent that don't differentiate from maybe like day 2 to day 3 too much in their perspective. Running back's a need. You don't have to draft a running back this year, technically speaking, because you've got Kareem Hunt on a year, Elijah Mitchell, if he stays healthy, he's here on a year. You have Carson Steele, you have Pacheco last year of his rookie deal. So the thought process with what I'm saying is you would be forced to draft a running back in 2026 because of all that I just said. But with this being a deep running back draft class, I kind of hope they grab a guy. So running back would be great. We forgot that Kingsley is still a baby. Yeah, Kingsley can still develop. I'm not completely out. I'm not completely out on Kingsley by any means. I'll be curious to see what they do with him. Is he kind of swing tackle guy? Could Kingsley be right tackle after Jawan Taylor moves on? Could be Wanye as well. He was drafted a year before Kingsley. And obviously all the coaches and all the reports are saying they like Kingsley at guard. That could very well happen as well. So no, I'm definitely not going to give up on Kingsley. There's plenty of linemen in the NFL that have taken 2-3 years to really develop. And speaking of that, Rob Miller with the 2 said Andy Heck needs to go. I'm sorry. And that's like a big piece of it. Can the Chiefs line or O-line coach Andy Heck, or just offensive coaches in general, assistant coaches, can they develop some of these guys that they're drafting and a lot of the young guys in their room? Andy Reid was a former O-lineman as well, so we can't forget about that either. He should have some say in their development also, even though he's got plenty of other things to worry about as a head coach. There's a few people that wanted different coaches to go, and nobody's leaving. The offensive coaching staff for the Chiefs is basically staying intact. I think maybe even completely intact. They had some defensive shifts, but I don't think any offensive shifts are happening. Andy Reid basically confirmed that at the Combine. So Nagy's going to be your OC. Joe Blademeyer, your pass game coordinator. Andy Heck, your O-line coach. Todd Pinkston, your running back coach. I'm trying to remember the wide receiver coach's name. Connor Embry. I think they're all staying. Yeah, I think they're all staying. Jennifer, thank you for the gifted. Emperor with the gifted as well. And then another gifted and Brand with the gifted. Whoa, we got some gifteds going. Four for Life said, Jennifer, you're related to Cole. She's like my godmother, my aunt. No, we're not related, but she's like family to me. 1 to 7 go, best player available. Exactly, Andre. Now there's going to be some factor into that based on needs, but they won't force a need. Weston said Juju signing is going to be huge. Yeah, I did not mind that at all. I mean, it makes sense. He's a guy that you can use to offset Travis Kelce. Great in zone against zone. Use him a lot in the blocking aspect of the offense. So heck yeah. Didn't mind it at all. Especially it's like going to be like a 1 year, probably vet min-ish deal. Does everything. If you're talking about Juju, yeah, he does a little bit of everything, but you could be talking about somebody else. Need to get a running back, a very fast guy. So yeah, I mean, Pacheco and Elijah Mitchell are pretty fast already. But yeah, if you could get a running back it's a little bit speedy. I mean, you're not going to get Ashton Genty. He's probably a Raider. Hey, why is this computer shut off? I didn't give you permission. Well, I thought it was unlocked. I've seen maybe some people try to get Omari and Hampton. I don't know if they're going to take a running back that early. Dylan Sampson. I know some people like Quinshawn Judkins. Got some K-State people that are high on Devin Neal. Scattaboo. Some people have been talking about him. I mean, are the Chiefs actually going to take one of those guys? I don't know. Who's the fastest one? Would be my question. Do I see their 40 times? Let me see some of these guys 40 times. Dylan Sampson ran a 4.35. Brashad Smith ran a 4.39. Anybody else run like a 4.4? Omari and Hampton ran a 4.46. 4.43. Travion Henderson. And there's a few quick guys there. It's got to be slow as hell. Yeah, I don't know what his 40 is. I didn't even look. 4.62. Yeah, it's a little slower. He's a white guy, man. Come on. You got to give him a head start. If I'm in a race with half y'all, you need to give me a head start too, okay? Come on, man. Let's be real over here. Only way you get in Hampton is if you draft him at 31. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I really don't. That's when I've seen him go. Like, the Chiefs take him in the first round in mock drafts. I don't know that they actually take. I feel like we would have PTSD if they took a first round running back. I could be wrong. Honestly, they can be slowly in the draft as long as they run routes quickly and have hands. All I'm looking for, wide receiver. Yeah, that's another position that I think the Chiefs probably should consider drafting. Is wide receiver. I think every single year for the next handful, why not get a receiver somewhere? If it's not round 1 or round 2 like they've done in the last 3 years, Sky Moore, I mean, that didn't really pan out. Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, that was round 2, round 1. I'm not saying it has to be a round 1, round 2 receiver, but you should probably keep adding to that room and infusing it with youth. 100%. People are saying the Chiefs dynasty is over, but people forget the Patriots went a decade without a Super Bowl win. Yeah, I don't really pay like a lot of attention to what the clickbait like ESPN guys are saying for hot takes. That's not. I just don't care. How the hell do you know? How do you know? You don't. Every single year, the Chargers are winning the West. I saw, what's his name, saying that already. One of the big talking heads, Coward, Colin Cowherd, he's saying he thinks the Chargers are going to win the West. How do you know? The Chiefs have won the AFC West 9 years in a row. Will the Chargers put up a good fight this year? Of course. Well coached. They looked a lot better last year compared to the year before, just 1 year with Harbaugh. He has a little bit of advantage, in my opinion, in the draft because he coached in college for so long. But how do these people know? They don't. They just want clicks and views, man. It's rage bait stuff. They don't know. They have no clue. Toyvy with the 5. Coming from a Niners fan, I love how you break down plays, players, and everything happening during a season. It's very engaging. Keep it up. Hey, thanks so much, Toyvy. If you haven't subscribed to my second channel, Cole Breaks the Huddle, you'll probably like that one. I kind of talk league-wide news and thoughts and all that stuff on that channel. We're climbing. We've got 19,000 subs on Cole Breaks the Huddle now. So let's go. But yeah, if you're a 49ers fan, you probably won't always like my in-depth Chiefs stuff, but the Cole Breaks the Huddle channel, we don't really talk about the Chiefs a lot on there because I talk about it all on here. So we talk about mainly all 31 other teams on there with a little bit of big picture Chiefs sprinkled in. But thank you for the kind words. Slamming with the 2. Oh, speaking of the 49ers, you guys got a lot going on over there. A lot of people gone. Debo getting traded. Jordan Mason even just got traded. I mean, there's a lot going on over there. I'll be curious to see just how things look with you guys. And does Brock Purdy get paid? What's that look like? Very curious to see what happens with the Niners. They do look like they're in a bit of a refresh for sure. Slamming with the 2. I'd feel safer draft O-line first if we were a 3-4. Let me try to read this. I'd feel safer draft O-line first if we were a 3-4. So you're saying, because you're talking defense there, right? So you're saying since the Chiefs are a 4-3, you would maybe, are you saying, Slamming, you'd feel better about taking a D lineman? Is that what you're saying? Feel free to give me clarity in the comments. I'm just trying to make sure I'm reading your comment correctly. Thank you for the 2. Andy with the comment. What's up, dude? I don't think they draft one in the first round unless all left tackles are already gone. In particular, D linemen the Chiefs specifically want are also gone. Are you talking about a running back, Andy? I would think they take somebody in the trenches round 1. Could be wrong. Some cornerback that they're super high on falls. Maybe you get him. Like, it could be a complete surprise. I would think they go trenches, but you just never really know. Brian Nesbitt with the 20 bomb. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. He said, we need that white fast guy. Catches passes and runs. Who's that? Who's the white fast guy that catches passes and runs? Does anybody know who he's talking about? You got to be talking about a wide receiver. Who's the fast white guy? I'm looking down the list, trying to find a white guy in the picture. I mean, Jack Beck, is he fast? 4.55, wide receiver out of TCU. He looks like the only white guy on this list. Oh, if you're talking about the running backs, then maybe Scatterboo. But I thought you were talking about wide receivers because, like, yeah, Matthew Golden, no. McMillan, no. Luther Burden III, no. Egbuka, how do you say his last name right? I've seen him drafted by the Chiefs at the end of first round. Emeka Egbuka? Oh, God. How do you say that name? Somebody help me. Cooper Kupp. Yeah, he's with the Seahawks now. Egbuka. Thank you. Egbuka. How do you say his first name? Do you think that the Chiefs offer Minihue a contract if he doesn't find home in free agency? I mean, Andy, for all we know, they have offered him something or they've been in contact with him saying, hey, this is what we feel comfortable with doing. We'd love to have you back. And maybe a Minihue's like hoping he can get a little bit more elsewhere in free agency. It's hard to really know. Mbuka? Mbuka. Are you talking about the running back? Then you must be talking about Scatterboo, even though he's not the fastest guy. Somebody said Ty Johnson? I'm just trying to find white guys. They're kind of hard to find, man. They're hard to find. The athletic traits sometimes don't translate, so they're tight ends or linemen most of the time. Who's your draft crush? Oh, what's up, dude? KC Sports Report in the house. I mean, I'm not super deep into the draft right now. I was studying a little bit. I don't really watch college ball during the season, and then free agency hit, and it was insane. But, I mean, I do like Josh Simmons. If the Chiefs could somehow get him in round 1, if they're going to get a tackle. I also understand his arms are a little shorter, but they just got Jalen Moore on a 2-year deal, and his arms are sub 34 inches as well. So if he falls enough, he could have been offensive tackle 1 in the draft, maybe 2, depending on who you ask. But I like the idea of them trying to get their left tackle of the future. If not, he could be right tackle. I think he's primarily played left, but those guys can swing a little bit. Pause. But Jalen Moore is only here on a 2-year deal. So if you get somebody like Simmons, he cooks for a year, plays along the line somewhere, and then year 2 after Jalen Moore's deal is done, that could be your guy. And some are saying, hey, you can get out of Jalen Moore's contract after year 1. Yeah, for $11 million in dead money, you could do it. Matt R. Yeah, that sounded weird the way I phrased it. Why are your hands so red? Part of it's the camera. The camera reads the shadows like super red. Like my dog back here, she's not red, but she looks red. So a lot of it's just the shadows. My hands are probably like a little red, but it's just the way my camera reads the shadows. It like reads them a little red. I don't know how to really fix that. I've kind of tried. But yeah, my hands are kind of red, but not nearly as red as they look down here. But thanks for the question. I always wonder, like, do people think my hands are just like super red? Because they look so red down here. Like it's insane looking. But it's not really like that. Not that bad. They are kind of red. I'm just Irish, dude. So I'm either pasty white or just red. I just got like, it's just how it works out for me. It is a Sony camera, Gunter. Yeah. I probably need to, it is a Sony. It's a Sony A7S III. I probably need to go in and turn the greens up just a little bit in the picture profile. That would probably help. Just like a little bit, not a lot. Who's your draft crush, Michael? Oh, he's asking KC Sports. Such a homer. Soon to be KU grad. Love Devin Neal. See, I told you, you got some people definitely high on Devin Neal. I've seen a lot of Chiefs fans saying, hey, bring him in. Bring him in, bring him in, bring him in. Ruckus said you do have that red in you. Yeah, man. Red beard. When I scream, my skin turns red. It's just what happens. Flip with the 5. Curious, would you rather have a speedster wide receiver with a 75-85% chance of catching any balls thrown his way or a slow, big body target with sticky hands? Man. I just think the way the Chiefs offense runs, Mahomes likes to throw to the open guy. So, like, for example, DeAndre Hopkins, like, you barely used him. They traded for him, they used him a little bit, and then just stopped. Mahomes likes to throw to the open guy. Read progression 1, 2, throw. Typically to the open receiver. Some 50-50 balls, but not a lot. I mean, so I'm probably going for the speedster, even though he's got a little bit of drop issues. I feel like you can clean those up eventually. But I'm not necessarily saying they only need to take 5'10", 4'3" guys. You know, if they want a bigger bodied guy that's still quick-ish, but he'll catch anything thrown his way, I wouldn't turn that down either. I'm also curious to see, like, once Travis Kelce moves on, what does that look like? Like, could you have a wide receiver kind of play in his role a little bit in the slot? I mean, they were kind of using Rice in some ways like that too before he got hurt. So it's a great question. I definitely say draft a wide receiver. Please get a guy that's got a relatively high relative athletic score. Just to draft an athlete that doesn't have major character concerns and let's add him. Stephen Beal at the 22 months. What's up, dude? Thank you. I hope we don't trade for Hardman again. Hoping for a Willie Gay signing and a Luther Burden III fall to 31. I've seen a lot of people talking about Luther as well as somebody that the Chiefs could draft, especially if, like, couple of the linemen, maybe they're high on, and D linemen they're high on aren't there, but they're confident they can go get somebody like that in round 2. A lot of the talent drop off from like after the first few elite guys go, and then the rest of them till round 2. Like there's not a huge drop off to some people depending on the position. That's even per the words of Brett Veach at his combine presser. So if they feel like they could get somebody that they want in round 2, maybe you do see a wide receiver in round 1. Like I can't rule it out completely, especially when you have 4 top 100 picks. Blocked field goal red. Dude, I was walking my dog, Casey, earlier, and I ran into one of the neighbors, and he said, "Hey, man, I started following your YouTube channel this year. The first video I saw was when the Broncos blocked that field goal, and your face got super red." I was like, nice. Yeah, I definitely lost my mind on that clip. I wasn't ready for it. I was not ready for it. We should pull that clip up because it's a good one. Pac West with the 20 bomb said, "Have a good week, everyone." Thank you so much, man. I hope you have a good week. Thanks for always supporting and with always keeping the positivity, man. Let's go. Witchy with the 9 months. 9 months snuck up on me. That's a baby. Witchy, I think we still owe your jersey. It's on the list to send out. My wife was just asking me the other day. I thought she sent it off, but she said, "Hey, don't you have a couple other pieces of merch to ship off as well?" Sorry, I had to cough again. How do you feel about the Tyreek Hill trade talks? My cough's coming back. That's how you know it's getting late at night. I don't know what Tyreek Hill trade talks you're actually talking about. Can you enlighten me? Because based on his contract, I don't really think he's going anywhere. Slam it with the 2. Big receiver with sticky hands sounds like Kelsey. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, what's life going to look like after Travis Kelsey? If you're going to try to imagine getting a guy to maybe play in a little bit of his role after Kelsey moves on, like I get it. I'm with it. And it's not going to be just one person that probably ever replicates Kelsey. Like, yeah, we thought when Gonzalez left, when he was traded to the Falcons, oh, we're probably never going to get a guy as good as we got ever again. Well, then they got Travis Kelsey, so you can't rule it out completely, but most likely when a generational talent, arguably one of the greatest ever to play the game at their position, leaves, you're going to have to use 2 to 3 people to make up for their role. And so the offense is just going to look different. Maybe even it'll start to look a little bit different this year as far as identity goes. It won't always necessarily just be Mahomes on 3rd down looking for Kelsey no matter what. And maybe he still does. Habits are hard to break. It's Kelsey's last year after all. And it's not like he's going to be completely washed out there on the football field or anything. So I'm sure Mahomes will still look for him quite a bit. Joe C with the 2 bomb. We will miss J Watt. I also hope Wiley develops. Yeah, I'll be curious to see the development of Wiley. It sucks that he tore his ACL in like November last year. He might not even be ready for the beginning of this year. But hey, Travis Kelsey, season-ending knee injury his rookie year as well. Bounced back and had a hell of a career. So maybe good signs for Wiley as well. Obviously, we have no idea, but I'm hoping for the best. Brian with another 10 bomb after the 20. Thank you, man. Let's go. I'd prefer Devin Neal over all the other running backs except Hampton. Genty is out of reach. Yeah, for sure. Neal's last 3 seasons were all over 1,000 yards, and the last 2 were both over 1,200 yards and 16 touchdowns. Brian with another 10. Brian is going nuclear. Who do we draft that had the nickname Baby Kelsey? Jared Wiley, tight end. Yeah. Tight end. Sorry. I didn't need to make that noise after drinking water, but after coughing for like 5 minutes straight, water tasted so good. Kelsey would do his thing this year again. Yeah, I don't think he's washed or anything like that. I mean, he's going to be 36. He didn't look the same this past year, but he was still productive. I think top 5 among all tight ends in yards, top 3, maybe even, he was 2nd or 3rd in receptions, went over 100 yards against the Texans. What are your thoughts on, you're asking me, some of you guys are asking me thoughts on specific players. I'm not super up on the draft right now. I can talk mainly like 1st-round guys for the most part, and I know that's not super helpful for what you're wanting. But I was starting to go through my draft prep, went a little O-line, little D-line, and then free agency frenzy hit, and I'm still playing catch up. I don't watch college ball during the season because Saturday is my only day with the family. So I just try to play catch up after the Chiefs season ends, and it's been a blessing, but their seasons have ended mid-February for the past few years. Okay, maybe we could draft Felton and play him tight end. Yeah, I don't know. Slamming. Is he a receiver built like a tight end? Is that what you're saying? I'm not sure. HBT sponsored by water? Yeah, I shouldn't have. We're going to get a comment after the stream that said, why did you make that noise after drinking water? I didn't even think about it. We kind of resigned to the loss of the Donkeys, and Chanel said, hold my beer. Yeah, dude. Can we just find that clip real quick? If I go like HBTC blocked field goal. Oh my gosh, dude. Here we go. All right. We've talked about this enough. We've got to pull it up real quick here. Well, actually, I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. I upgraded my computer, and I don't know if you guys, well, actually, let's just see. Can you guys hear this? Yeah, some misses from Mahomes. Can you guys hear that? You're stopped in the red zone. You had opportunities to win this game. Okay, I can't hear it. I don't know why. I upgraded my computer recently, and I don't know all the ins and outs of the upgrade. But if you guys can hear it, that's all that really matters. Game. I just want to get the block. It's not the worst loss in the world, but it is a loss if this field goal is good and the Chiefs will go to 8-1. The Broncos will move to 6-4. Broncos are going to win. Here you go. 4th and 9, 35-yard attempt. I mean, this is basically automatic for Will Lutz. You're at the right hash, and let's see what happens here. It's probably game.
Where's the field goal
Kick
at?
is up. It's blocked! Oh, my God!
Oh,
my head, dude.
Shit. Oh, my God! Oh, my God! Oh!
Look how red my head is, bro. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. I said my head is as red as the logo.
My face is as red as the logo! The Chiefs win! Oh! Oh!
Dude, every time I laugh or scream, my head just turns so red.
Oh my God!
Dude, I definitely was... I was not ready for that. I was not expecting that, man. Just watch the new CBTH. Well done, my friend. Thank you, Andy. Great reaction. Thanks, man. Dude, yeah, I was not expecting a game-ending walk-off field goal. You lost control for sure. Yeah, I think I said, holy and then I threw my jacket off. I don't even remember. Oh yeah, I spiked the ball. Dude, the spike? The spike was something else. Dude, and then another game, I grabbed the football. It's over there, and I started headbutting it. That's the Andy Reid signed ball, too. I can't be touching that. Brand with the 29 months said, now do the Cole Perna version. That is a good one. Oh, wait. Here. Oh, you guys didn't even... I was on a full screen when we did the ball spike. Oh, I'm an idiot. All right, here we go. Me and Perna version real quick.
Please. Oh, God, please.
4th and 9.
Oh, 35. It's a 35-yard attempt.
Kick is up. It's blocked!
No!
He glitches down.
Oh my God! Oh shit!
No! No! Blocked it!
Oh my God!
They blocked the goddamn kick!
The Chiefs win!
My face, dude.
Oh! Oh!
Are you kidding me? Oh, what the fuck?
Let's freaking go!
Oh my God, no!
Spike the ball!
There's the
Andy
spike.
Reid! Let's go!
Oh
looks like yeah, there's me down on my knees. I was not okay.
Are you freaking?
It was better than the video where me and Perna both reacted to the hey, focus up here. Me and Perna both reacted to the Jerick McKinnon touchdown toss from Mahomes, the little like flick. Yeah, I brought out the belt, dude. I was going crazy. Hannah with the 5 months just joined the live as Cole played that video. What's up, Hannah? Marcus with the 2. Those cuts are perfect in that catch. Oh, man. Brand made that video. Did you damage the signed Andy Reid autograph? No, I don't think so. No. It still looks good. It's still fine. It's all good. See? Well, it wants to... It's all good. Boom. I don't need to be slamming it down on the ground anymore. But it's still good. Andy Beasley, do you like any of the interior O-linemen in this draft to eventually start at left guard? Well, dude, any of the top tackles could potentially be your left guard. Like, I just saw Mel Kiper, I think, took Kelvin Banks Jr. at 31 to Kansas City. I don't know if he really actually falls that far, but he could be a guard. So, I don't know. I would be a little surprised, to be honest with you, if they just roll with Kingsley as their option at left guard and not try something. Unless they're higher than we know on Hunter Norzad or something. Just not really sure. Cole turned into the red Hulkamania. Yeah, I went insane. Made me cry laughing so hard. Dave, some people said they watch that video weekly of my reaction. I don't go back to it very often. But that was a good time. Did you see Hardman sign with the Packers? I did. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I watch a lot of team-specific creators. I'm glad I'm a Chiefs fan. You're the best. Hey, Dustin, thanks, man. I appreciate you a ton. It's a lot of fun. I mean, the fact that I get to do this for a living, it's not lost on me at all. I love getting to just react to Chiefs news and fill you guys in and just give my thoughts around it. Am I always right? No. But I try to make sure my takes are pretty even-keeled, present both sides of what I'm seeing online, and then give my own perspective injected into that as well. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I never knew the channel would blow up. Never knew I would get to do this for a living. And I'm very blessed and grateful to be able to do that. Like, yeah, I come down here every day and look at news and script and research, but like, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I don't know what else I would want to be doing. Nothing really. So this is a blast to me. And obviously it probably helps that the Chiefs are winning most of their games. Super Bowl 59 was not fun. But the journey was fun. I've seen a lot of wins, and I didn't know, like, yeah, I started the channel in 2021, and people who don't know me, they're like, oh, bandwagon. I'm like, bro, I've lived in KC my whole life, born and raised in Kansas City. I've been to several games before Mahomes was ever quarterback, and my first ever game was actually like in 2004, Chiefs versus Eagles. Andy Reid was head coach. But I didn't know when I started my channel in 2021, the morning of the Chiefs and Bills divisional game, that it would, like, the channel would ever do anything. Every Chiefs channel I saw, like, the biggest ones at the time was like Chat Sports and RGR. But like, even those guys then, they're like, yeah, you can't really make a full-time living just covering one team. I was like, okay. So that's cool. I wasn't even doing it for money. I was just doing it for a creative outlet. And the channel just started growing. I started studying more, refining the craft, trying to provide more value for you guys, and it's turned into what it is, and I'm extremely grateful. It was never the initial goal, but I think that's what's so fun about it. I never went in here being like, oh, I have to have this many subs, I have to have this many views. Dude, I remember when I got my first $2 donation, super chat. I was like, whoa, dude, I was like, somebody just gave. I was like, that's insane. So heck yeah, it's been an awesome journey so far. And I'm excited to keep it going. And starting up Cole Breaks the Huddle, the second channel, has been a lot of fun too. Getting to cover the league and like react to the league and like all the news, like it helps me understand stuff for the Chiefs more, just because I know like, oh, what moves the Bills are making, the Bengals are making, what moves the AFC West. I always kind of study the AFC West, but I kind of know a bigger picture of the NFL and what's going on, which is helpful even for when I talk Chiefs. It's a win-win. Hannah with the 2. The Chiefs are Cryptus The Chiefs are Perna's kryptonite, and I love it. Heck yeah. You already know. Xander with the 17 months. Love that video of you and Perna reacting to the game, winning blocked field goal. Can we get the nickname Fahrenheit 451 trending for Worthy, Brown, and Rice? I like that. I do like that. Let's go. Thanks for the 17 months. The homie with the 11 months, been watching for a while, and to see you from the beginning to now, you've come a long way. It's amazing. Hey, let's go. I was just reflecting and reminiscing, and that was a very timely message. Thank you, man. It's been a crazy ride, but it's a lot of fun. I'm glad and happy to be able to do it. And there's a lot of good Chiefs channels out there covering the team, and some people like others. That doesn't. I just say, hey, whoever watches, I'm super grateful. Slamming with the 2, defense is the reason we made it to the Super Bowl. I mean, the defense in 2023 was insane. Top 3, kind of took a step back last year, but they had a lot of key plays, a lot of wins, even special teams with the blocked field goal. Mahomes was clutch when needed at times, but yeah, I mean, the defense was a big part of the reason for sure. Not gonna disagree there. Hannah with the 5. Arc of McColl season. Start with the Packers, doesn't play much, realizes not all orgs are run as well as the Chiefs. Chiefs trade for him before the playoffs. If they trade for McCole Hardman again, that's going to be insane. I can't lie to you. That's going to be insane. Cole trying to report for ESPN, said Darius. I have no idea. You know, I don't really think about any big stepping stones from here. I enjoy doing what I'm doing now, and now we're growing the second channel, and I just love YouTube. I grew up watching YouTube. I've had YouTube Premium since it was YouTube Red. I've had YouTube Premium, so ad-free, on this app since like 2016, just because I spend all my time here. Tutorials, that's how I learned videography, photography, anything you could think of with, like, in life, within realistic parameters, I learned on YouTube. I didn't go to college. I learned everything on YouTube, and I just went and applied it. Go learn, go apply it, and that's why I love this app so much, man. What you can learn on here for free is insane. Hey, Cole, your channel is the best, said Achilles, because it does not react to every rumor out there. I think earlier on when I was doing YouTube, I think I was reacting to more out there, but I try to be more selective now, and yeah, not all rumors are created equal. There's sometimes where I feel like I need to talk about some stuff that's circulating, but yeah, I mean, I'm not reacting to every trade rumor, every free agency rumor, because some of them are stupid. Like, they're proposals. They're not even rumors. They're literally a proposal that somebody for Bleacher Report writes. It's like here's a fun idea, and then that turns into a rumor by ML Football. Freaking like, yeah, so There are times we react to stuff. There are times where I just want to bring it up to let you guys know it's not true. But then there are times where it is worth talking about. It's kind of fun. We try to talk a little bit of everything on this channel when it comes to the Chiefs. YouTube Premium is the only app I find worth the money. Dude, I'm not even just saying this because I do YouTube for a living. YouTube Premium, like, it's, if I had to cut a lot of my subscriptions, I'm keeping YouTube Premium. Who is ML Football? It's an account on Twitter. Would you ever do a stream with Tom Grossi? Yeah, I've been on there before. I've had him on the channel. Shout out to Tom Grossi, by the way, the freaking GOAT. I've had him on the channel before. I was just on his channel when he was streaming a bunch for raising $1 million, and then I was just on GPS with him and Perna after Joe Tooney got traded, and then I was on GPS with him a couple of years ago. So we've definitely collabed a couple times, man. I got nothing but respect for Perna, Grossi, a lot of the big content creators, man. 5, Urinating Tree. I mean, there's a lot of good guys out there doing stuff, that's been doing stuff for a long time. Do a live BTS? That'd be fun, Matt. Yeah, he's an engagement farmer that tweets random rumors. If you're talking about ML Football, yeah. It's definitely in my cable, and it comes with a music app. Yeah, it does. I'm not sponsored by YouTube Premium, just so you know. I just love the features that it has, and I listen to a YouTube video every night to fall asleep. It's mainly like a podcast or something, but pretty much every night. It's interesting. I don't go to podcast apps. I don't know if you guys do. Like, even for other NFL news and football news, I go to YouTube. That's it. I hate this. The Chiefs offense just got a lot scarier with this potential trade, and it comes off as news, but it's just hearsay. Yeah, I mean, earlier on, I probably talked more about that kind of stuff. Like, I was doing videos for a while, like every day. Long form Chiefs videos every day. I was like digging into any rumor I could find, any Chiefs scrap. But now when I'm only doing a long form 15-ish minute video Monday, Wednesday, Friday-ish, unless there's breaking news or more that's worth talking about, I can kind of I'm a lot more selective in what I'm talking about, and I'm going to spend time like digging into more stats, more intriguing facts, or stuff that would bring you guys value rather than like random rumors. What happens when you're a member? Members get access to the once a month members only live stream where we give away Chiefs merch, signed Chiefs merch, and then a jersey from NFL Shop. And then you get access to the members only Discord as well. Those are probably like the two main ones. You get emojis and stuff like that. We really need to get a guest spot with Mitch Holthus on your channel. Oh, that would be fun, Stanley. I feel like those guys are all doing stuff contractually with like actual corporations. Like they got stuff going on with like 96.5 The Fan, like bigger companies. I'm just like a one-off independent YouTuber over here. But man, if I could ever get one of those guys on the channel just to talk Chiefs, I would be extremely honored. And maybe that'll happen. Maybe that'll happen one day. Do the Niners need to pay Purdy this year? No, not technically. I think he's on the last year of his deal. But if they let him walk into free agency next year, you could lose him. Maybe they're fine with that, but I don't know. Good question. You probably could if you paid money. I mean, I think Mitch Holthus has like a management company that handles his speaking engagements. I could always reach out to them. Andy Hot, have you ever been into collecting NFL cards? I just did a sponsored ad for Arena Club recently, and so I've been messing around on there. Didn't really do a lot of card trading per se. I spent all my money, if I'm going to be honest with you, into cameras, lenses, lighting. That's where like all my money went when I was doing videography. And so I never really got into it, but I know that a lot of people love it. It's a lot of fun. Will the Bengals regret their cap hit after signing their wide receivers? I mean, maybe. Jamar Chase, $40 million a year. T. Higgins, $28.75 million a year with incentives to go up over $30 million a year. Joe Burrow's at $55 million a year. They could be paying Trey Hendrickson top of the market money if they get a long-term deal done with him. But those cap hits aren't going to look like that this year. They're going to be a lot lower. And remember, T. Higgins was on the franchise tag. His was like $27 million cap hit. You get a long-term deal done with him, it's probably going to be way less. Should the Chiefs sign Stephon Diggs? I mean, he tore his ACL late. Is he even cleared? I don't even know if he's cleared yet. I don't mind the idea. But the Chiefs, based on their room, they don't need Stephon Diggs per se, so they would probably be like, yeah, we would like it, even though some people are like, no, don't do it, locker room cancer, blah, blah, blah. But just from a player perspective, I wouldn't mind it. He's not going to look quite the same probably coming off the ACL, and they're not going to get into a bidding war over Stephon Diggs. Mo, thank you so much for the membership, man. Let's go. Fact, the salary cap is actually built to bring the elite teams in the NFL back to the rest of the pack. Most teams on average have a 60% turnover year after year. Yeah, it's interesting too. The cap keeps going up. It went up, way up this year. And then like, there are ways you can manipulate the salary cap. We're watching the Eagles do it right now. But sometimes, not sometimes, I mean, eventually you're going to have to pay for your sins, your salary cap sins. By the time Higgins' contract is due, the NFL budget will be $300 million. So Bengals won't regret it. And when I think I said they might regret it. I guess what I mean by that is, can it make it hard and they have to make some executive decisions elsewhere? Yeah, but that's kind of like every NFL team. I don't know if they are ever going to like be like, oh, we should have never done that. No, I don't think it's like that kind of regret. What's up, Glow King? Good to see you, man. No AARP, i.e. old eligible wide receivers, please. Well, that's why I was saying when it comes to Diggs, like no bidding war. He'd be a guy that I think a team probably maybe signs later on if injuries hit the room. I could see that. I could definitely see that. You have way too many cards now, Gunter. Some graded Mahomes rookies and a ton of other cards. Ooh, let's go, dude. I love that. Heck yeah. Eventually we'll need to pay Mahomes. Yeah, they keep kicking that down the road too. I think they'll redo his contract after next year, maybe. Maybe after this year, we'll see. Yeah, we'll definitely see. Dude, I've been standing this whole time. I didn't even sit once. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? I just got in the zone. Tyler Lockett. Ask Hannah about Tyler Lockett. I mean, Tyler Lockett's intriguing to me because he's been pretty healthy, but he is 32 years old. He'll be 33 in September. That's going to be your wide receiver 4 depth piece guy. Probably a cheap-ish deal. Probably also, though, more than you think. I don't think he's going to be like vet min or anything like that. My wishes for next 2 rebuild years, said Darius, is sending a message to the league by having the AFC Championship go through KC. Oh, for the next 2 rebuild years? I mean, it's been AFC Championship every year for the Chiefs. Not always at Arrowhead, but most of the time. How about those chairs? Shout out to Carrington Harrison, man. How about those chairs? Just joined the stream, but interesting addition via the draft could be Sevion Williams out of TCU. Okay, Spencer. I'll have to look that name up. What I like Keenan Allen. Always been a fan, injuries and all. Yeah, where's Keenan Allen now? Where's Keenan Allen? He's still somewhere? Market value $7.7 million. Yeah, that's pretty high, Andy. The Chiefs are not paying that. Not when you've got... Oh, he's a free agent? Interesting. Yeah, not when you have Rice, Worthy, Hollywood, Juju. I mean, I just feel like that room's in a decent spot. Yeah, you have Nico. It could probably benefit from another veteran addition. Maybe another drafted guy. We'll see. You got Sky Moore. Don't forget Justin Ross. You got some of those guys. We'll see. Yeah, I'm going to call it a night, guys. It's been a fun hangout with y'all. I appreciate you hanging out. I always look forward to the live streams and hanging out with you guys. Thanks for all the questions, all the dono bombs, the memberships, mods. Thanks so much for holding it down. We'll be back with a long form video tomorrow. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.
How about those Chiefs?